Although he has done several films in the meantime, this has to be Johnny Depp's biggest splash back into Hollywood ever since he's been let back in after the Amber Heard debacle. But yeah, on one hand, I mean, like, this sounds pretty good. Okay, Johnny Depp doing a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde interpretation? That's pretty cool. And then you also hear Ridley Scott's attached to it, and it's like, oh god, man. At one point in time, like, if this was in like the 80s, 90s, 2000s, that would be, what, man, this could be a phenomenal movie. But this is Gladiator 2 Ridley Scott. This is Prometheus Ridley Scott. This isn't Gladiator or Alien Ridley Scott. So it's like, oh god, wonder if we're gonna have Hyde fire cannons at the pyramids. But yeah, now Johnny Depp joins Hyde graphic novel series from Ridley Scott and Mechanical Cake. Okay, will create the titular character. And yeah, this could be really good, man. Because it really does harken back to the Sweeney Todd stuff, Secret Window, if anybody watched that. And then, of course, it allows him to unleash a little bit more of a flamboyant side, and I think you know where we're going with that. But the actor has signed on to Hyde, a new graphic novel property based on Robert Louis Stevenson's novella, Strange Case, yes, of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I think you've heard of it, from Ridley Scott and the production company Mechanical Cake. Depp, Scott, Mechanical Cake, don't want to say that anymore, will co-own the property, which launches later this year with a graphic novel series on Halloween. Spooky. Okay, cool. If it stays in books, that's fine. But yeah, once we go to the big screen, yeah, okay. Created by Mechanical. I'm not saying it anymore. CEO Jesse Negron. Oh no. Hyde will chronicle the life of Mr. Hyde, right after he has triumphed over Dr. Jekyll's alter ego. According to the release, the character will freely explore his dark tendencies with the uninhibited abandon as the character hides out in the sewers of London, using a serum to transform other people into more Hydes. Okay, the character will share Depp's likeness as demonstrated with the exclusive first look below. Yeah, we can see it right there, and yeah, I mean, that is prime for cinematic adaptation, 100%, to build within the world of Robert Louis Stevenson's masterful characters and to be welcomed into the vision of Ridley Scott, and inexplicably having the opportunity to explore. It's surprising to me, Depp said in a statement, and hopefully surprising to him. It's an insane and beautiful to receive that trust from Ridley, a master. Yeah, if you just go ahead and disregard the past decade of his career, but yeah, no, that's totally fine. Negron wrote the 2-volume series with Joe Matsumoto. Dave Elliott was the editor. Blah, don't really care. It's an incredible opportunity to build a studio-level project that goes directly from the creators to the audience with no filters in between, said Negron. Hyde, like everything Mechanical Cake does, is a bit off the rails in a good way. And so, yeah, I know that Depp has done a couple of things that have got critical acclaim so far, but they have been relatively minor roles and minor parts that he's done. But some of his work with the Hollywood vampires, Alice Cooper, and his little, side rock hustle that he does, which is pretty great, honestly. This right here kind of has to be the biggest thing that he's done post-Heard trial. But of course, that all leads to what could potentially be on the horizon, because we've talked about this time and time again, how Disney has had a couple of ideas for reboots. Maybe one has been greenlit. Maybe we're going to have an all-female interpretation, but Pirates of the Caribbean 6 is going to be happening. Jerry Bruckheimer is attached to the project, and apparently he's also reached out to Johnny Depp, and he indicates that things are looking good, that yeah, we could get a proper Captain Jack. And on one hand, I mean, Pirates 1 is so great, man, and I love that movie. Everything else that came out after it is absolute slop, and I despise, let's just say 2.5 of those movies. I still haven't seen 5, but I was disappointed by At World's End, and On Stranger Tides is just an irredeemable pile of shit. I fucking hate that movie. That was one of the first movies that I came out of this. I don't know, man. With how slow the news cycle, depending on, I don't know, maybe something could flare up in the next couple of months, but I really, don't hold me to this, okay? But I really want to detail just how bad On Stranger Tides is. That movie fucking stinks, and the way that they treated Barbossa, it presages Luke Skywalker. All of the Marvel character assassinations, Picard in his stupid first 2 seasons of his show. It's really bad, and not enough people talk about it, but yeah, if we could have a proper send-off for the character, because yeah, let's keep it a buck. Johnny Depp, not getting any younger, and if he wants to properly pass the torch or something like that, or maybe they could just, say goodbye, sayonara to arguably Disney's most successful, or at least popular, original character of this century. What else is close? Definitely from a financial standpoint, I don't think anything has been more successful than Pirates as a franchise. So, but I digress. So yes, Jerry Bruckheimer says he's spoken to Johnny Depp about returning to Pirates. I think he would do it. This is it's pretty big, okay, but he has one caveat. All right, let's take a look. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, producer Jerry Bruckheimer reveals that he had a conversation with Depp about reprising his role as Captain Jack Sparrow in a sixth Pirates movie. Bruckheimer previously told Entertainment Weekly that he was eager for Depp to return to the role, and yes, despite Disney cutting ties with Depp. Oh, that's a nice way to put it. Cutting ties with Depp, which the actor claimed happened as a result of the publication of a 2018 op-ed in the Washington Post. Yes, I was a survivor of domestic abuse. God, I forget the exact headline, but yeah, man. God, 2012 or 20, that was 2022, huh? 3 years ago. Wrote that Amber Heard wrote that she was a victim of domestic abuse, even though she's like, no, actually, by victim, I meant perpetrator. It's a colloquialism. Google it. Anyways, now the producer tells Entertainment Weekly that Depp is open to the possibility of reprising his iconic role if he feels if he feels like the way the part's written, I think he would do it. It's all about what's on the page, as we all know. Well, yeah, exactly. The last Pirates film was back in 2017 with Dead Men Tell No Tales. It was part with the returning cast members, even though, Orlando Bloom. Because that was the last time we talked about this, because he was interviewed about something saying, it's about time to get the band back together. Keira Knightley has been on some kind of a fucking feminist kick now that she's not getting the attention that she used to. Now it was, I was used for my beauty, and everybody's like, yeah, we know, and you took advantage of that. Gee, it's funny how chicks, once they get closer to or past 40, start to realize that, oh no, there's no such thing as a free lunch anymore. And a new crop of 18-year-olds pop up every single day. Sucks to suck, I guess. But yes, and Jeffrey Rush as well. But yeah, Orlando Bloom, okay. Will and Elizabeth Turner only turned up, what was it, like the final scene I heard or something like that? So to have them properly integrated, to have them round off the Flying Dutchman angle with, Will Turner, and it's like, how do we figure that out? But anyways, discussions on a sixth film, yes, have been in place since at least 2019. Bruckheimer has previously clarified that the new Pirates film would be a reboot of the franchise, but they still like to see Jack Sparrow make an appearance. Well, yeah, it's a reboot, but if it's up to me, he would be in it. But yeah, exactly. I love him. He's a good friend. He's an amazing artist, and it has a unique look. But yeah, he has an iconic look for that franchise. No Jack Sparrow, no Pirates movies. Now, there is, of course, a scenario where you could have a good Pirates movie without Jack Sparrow. It's just, A, it's coming from Disney, and B, it's going to be at least 2027 before we see any movement on this. So yeah, I don't necessarily think that there's a high likelihood of that happening. He created Captain Jack. That was not on the page. That was him doing a little Pepe Le Pew, and Keith Richards. That was his interpretation of Jack Sparrow. And yeah, even if you want to go back to the Amber Heard trial, on his first day of testimony, how he laid out how he created Jack Sparrow was an interesting interjection and a way for him to kick off his testimony, but it was kind of fascinating. But then again, like, I'm quite a big Johnny Depp fan. He was one of those guys, okay? If you guys remember the late 2000s, early 2010s, prior to his flame out, and actually, him hooking up with Amber Heard, he was everywhere. He was very much the Pedro Pascal of that era, except he has charisma and talent, and he could actually be a box office draw because what was that, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the first one, and definitely the first Alice in Wonderland movies. Yeah, they made a lot of money. Lone Ranger, not so much, but that was getting towards the end of things. But hey, all of those Pirates movies inexplicably made a lot of money. But yes, Bruckheimer says it's still a matter of locking in a script that everybody is happy with. We are still working on a screenplay. Okay, well, that's fine. Just continue to work on it. Actually have a good story to tell. We want to make it. We want to get the right screenplay. We haven't quite gotten it, but we're close. I hope so, man, because like I said, like Curse of the Black Pearl, like that was 2003, by the way, okay, and it's been a long time, and that is, like, it's so funny, right, because recently, okay, I seen Gary Nerdrotic post this as it came across my timeline, and I totally agree with this, by the way, okay, because, Rotten Tomatoes did a big old bracket battle of, best Oscar pictures ever, and the winner at the end of the day was Return of the King. I really can't dismiss that, and frankly, I would agree. But you take a look at that final four right there. You got Return of the King, you got One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and Godfather Part 1 and Part 2. And even if you peel it back to the semifinals, okay, you got Rocky. I don't know how it might have been a while since you guys have watched Rocky, but it is unquestionably the best sports movie ever. That it's so great. It's so great. Casablanca, Schindler's List, Gone with the Wind, Titanic. I think it's inarguable at this point in time, right? Because even The Departed, that was what, mid 2000s. Birdman was what, 2013, 2014. So that one might be the oldest one on this list. But yeah, you take a look at anything that isn't just on this list as a simple virtue of it winning Best Picture. It is indisputable that the quality of movies in the past 10, 15, 20, I would argue 30 years has obviously denigrated. And so if Disney is going to be rebooting Pirates of the Caribbean, at least bring back the people that made it successful. Give them a good script, put them in the best position to succeed. Have it be like a one-off like you had for the first Pirates movie. Don't be trying to set up anything else. Just try to give a good send-off to one of the most popular characters of all time and do something a la 2003, not 2017. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.